Hello and welcome to Pam Renna Live, turning the pages of Act 2. I'm your host, Pam Renna from A Common Thread Production, inviting you into my corner of faith and life. This isn't just a podcast, it's a living book. Here, we walk through life's chapters together, celebrating victories, learning through struggles, and discovering the faith that carries us forward. Each week, we open a new chapter, a new story, a new lesson. And if you're new here, I'm so glad you found your way to this page. Think of this as a living book, where every episode becomes a chapter, every story brings new insight, and every conversation is an opportunity to grow. My hope and my prayer is that each one of you, my page turners, finds a piece of yourself within these chapters. A moment that speaks to your heart, strengthens your faith, and reminds you that your story still matters.
Live from Katerina Valentina Salon in St. James, New York. She's the breakout author of Scenes from the Play of My Life, Act 1, a fearless influencer, a faith-fueled powerhouse, and a voice igniting purpose across generations. This is the podcast that brings real stories, real faith, and real fire to the forefront. Get ready to be inspired. Get ready to be fired up. Get ready to rise. This is Pam Renna Live. And now, here she is, Pam Renna.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I've got amazing people in the studio today. How did the week go? How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing great?
How was your week?
It was good, a little sinus, but otherwise good, like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. Wherever you found your way here, I'm glad you did. Because maybe in this moment in your life when things don't just quit. I look at that, see? We were just talking about this before we went live, that you make mistakes because I've had too much green tea today. Right?
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
And that'll do it. So let's go back. Take 2. Where you're being pushed in ways you didn't expect. And what you don't realize yet is that God is already moving. Because this chapter, it's about something we don't always see coming. The way God places you in people in your life right when you need them most. Not when you're ready, not when you expect it, but exactly when you need it. And sometimes it takes going through something to even recognize it. There'll be moments in your life when you get knocked down so hard, you don't recognize the ground beneath you. I know that feeling because I lived it. This happens that you never expect, the kind that shake everything you thought was solid. And when you build something on your own, when you pour yourself into it, when it's yours, it hits differently when it all starts to fall apart. There were moments I questioned everything. I didn't always say it out loud, but I felt it. Was I good enough? Was I going to be able to get through this? I kept most of those thoughts to myself. I prayed instead. Because I knew if I gave those doubts a voice, they might start to feel real. And through all of that, I started to understand something. Your situation doesn't define who you are. The obstacles, the setbacks, the moments that shake you. They're not there to stop you. They're there to shake you. Confidence isn't something you hold on to perfectly. You lose it sometimes. You question yourself. That's part of it. But if God placed something in your heart, if that dream is part of you, you don't walk away from it. You keep going. You keep the faith. And along the way, God starts to move. He places people in your life sometimes out of nowhere, sometimes right when you need it most. Not to do the work for you, but to remind you you're still on the right path, that you haven't lost it, that you're still capable, and that's when it shifts. You stop trying to control everything, and you start to trust it, to trust the process. Because even when you can't see it, something is happening. And if you stay with it, you don't give up, persevere, my favorite P, eventually something breaks through. And you find your way exactly where you're meant to be. As I finish this summary, it naturally brings me to Psalms 46:10, a scripture that resonates so deeply with this message. Be still and know that I am God. A reminder that even when life doesn't make sense, there's still purpose in the process and peace in the waiting. And with that, let's read chapter 2 together, The People God Sends. This is a great book.
Beautiful.
Great color.
Beautiful color.
Right? I love purple. Okay, let's get started. It was a rough night. After everything I had seen in those first 24 hours, the devastation, the loss, it didn't feel real. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, but this was different. I found myself questioning my faith. How do you even begin to wrap your head around it? The time, the money, the effort, all poured into something you believed in, only to have it taken away just like that. Owning a cafe had been my dream since I was 16. I always knew I wanted to be a business owner. That part of me was never a question. The flower company fell into my lap. I knew it was a gift from God. It felt right. They brought everything together. They brought my dreams to life. And yes, I worked my butt off, but I'm not taking that away, but I loved it. I knew deep down the flower shop had taken a hit, but it wouldn't destroy us completely. We could rebuild it. We get our sales team back out there, bring a new business to make up for what we lost from the clients who also got hit by the storm. But the cafe, that was a different story. Time would tell. The next morning, Samantha and I got up and headed out. We needed to see what other business owners were doing. Has anyone even started cleaning up? That's when we ran into Patrick, one of the owners of the Paris Cafe, one of the oldest brasseries in New York, opened in 1873. Sam used to go there for dinner all the time. We loved it. The history, the feeling of the place, it was still all there when you walked in. Murals from the 1800s all along the walls, tin ceilings, the original pewter top bar, all hand carved. Or at least it was, until stupid storm Sandy destroyed it. Patrick was hopeful. He believed it would be repaired, back up and running again. Not overnight, we all knew that, but eventually. We all had our work cut out for us. The first thing you need to do was go get the water out of the basements in both the cafe and the flower shop. Some businesses didn't have the basements. The Mexican restaurant Cowgirl Seahorse was one of them. Not having a basement made things easier for them. The water had already pulled back into the streets, and they were just in with one level. I'm not making light of it, not at all. I just couldn't help but thinking, were they lucky, blessed? Because what we were about to face was something entirely different. I keep telling myself, stay positive, keep the faith. I knew I'd need that mindset to get through what was ahead. Maybe this was a lesson, even if I didn't understand it yet. Patrick didn't hesitate to help us. We had been calling everywhere, but it came up empty. Not a single generator left. After everything the storm had already taken, it makes sense, but it didn't make it any easier. We did manage to get a sub pump, but without a generator, we were still stuck. Then Patrick offered us his generator, just like that. He said we could use it when he was done. We thanked him, he was a blessing. A few days after the storm hit, my mom and my 4 sisters, Lily, Sophie, Janny, and Molly, went out and brought a car full of water and cleaning supplies. They spent almost $1,000. That's love in action. So Janny, Sophie, and Molly packed up the car, and off they went. When I saw them, everything just caught up with me. I was completely overcome. The hugs, the kisses, it felt like I could finally breathe again. I need to see them more than they know. After everything we just been through, seeing my sisters put things back into perspective, reminding me that none of what happened mattered more than what always does. Family. I'm getting choked up. See? So it's hard to read it. This is live, the read book. Mm-hmm. The people who show up for you when it matters most, that's what stays with you. This is what I consider power, acquired abundance. We started the cleanup about a week later. Still no electricity. Sam and I were numb. Trying to put our heads together. How are we going to rebuild? We didn't get out of bed. Didn't even leave the apartment for a week. Depression started to settle in. Sam and I barely spoke. So getting the equipment we needed to start the cleanup came at the right time. This is where I would have had to remember to pray for spiritual growth. I had to know in my heart that God was bringing me on a new path, find direction, whether I liked it or not. Stepping outside the streets didn't even feel real anymore. Every block was lined with people's lives along Front Street, Pearl Street, Water Street, and South Street. Couches, chairs, waterlogged boxes, bags of clothes, photo albums, things that once meant something to someone, all dragged out to the curb. Ruined by salt water, left they wouldn't be picked up and taken to the Staten Island dump. It was everywhere, not just us, everyone. We finally got the water out of both basements, but now the real work has begun. The cafe had to come first. Everything there was perishable. The flower shop would come after. It was mostly plants, papers, and computers, nothing like the cafe. Every day became a routine we didn't choose. Wake up, clean, toss waterlogged boxes, ruined inventory, pieces of our lives we couldn't save, repeat. The days blended into each other before I could even process them. Everything in the cafe's basement had to come out. The food in the walk-in cooler, the file cabinets, the dry storage, canned goods, the computers, the recipe books, everything. The basement, it wasn't a normal space. When we first started construction, the ceilings were so low you couldn't stand up straight. You had to walk bent over just to move around. I'm only 5'6", so you can imagine what that felt like. The contractor had to dig down into the cement floor a foot, maybe 2, just to create enough height to work with. It was the only way to make the space usable. And the walk-in cooler was custom built to fit the space, floor to ceiling, made specifically for the right, tight, low basement so we could all make it work. Samantha and I started bringing things up from the basement through the bulkhead and onto the street. And then people started showing up. I heard Chill, if you were there, right? Eve, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
One by one, turning the corner, local people, complete strangers coming to help. Before we even realized it, we had formed an assembly line. People lined up in the basement all the way up to the street, pushing things, passing things up one after another. Isn't Chill? Wow, it's amazing. This is good stuff to relive. We just stood there for a second, looking at each other. Blown away doesn't even cover it. We felt it, blessed, grateful. These are people who didn't have to be there, going from place to place in the neighborhood, helping anyone who needed it. They couldn't do enough. This is what I call power acquired abundance. We could feel God's hand in it. There's no other way to explain it. In the middle of all that, Samantha's son Jason and John showed up too. We kept going, one thing after another, until we reached the cooler, stocked with everything from the cafe. Depending on fresh fish, cheese, vegetables, the ingredients needed for every item on the menu. It had all been sitting there closed up, no air, for weeks. So when we finally opened that walk-in, I can't even describe the smell. Mussels, clams, lobsters, everything rotting, trapped in that space. It hit you instantly. Jason went in first and started cleaning things out, trying to carry whatever he could. Within minutes, he was throwing up. He had to get it out. There was no way pushing through that. After that, a few others went in, pulling the shirts over their noses to block the smell, and I followed. We didn't say much. We just went in and started pulling things out. It's something I'll never forget. As the days turned into weeks, more and more people kept coming. My cousin Josephine and her husband Pete and their daughter Sarah came out from Levittown, Long Island, to help clear out a separate cooler filled with dairy. And Sarah, only 9 years old, stood there pouring milk, container after container, into the slop sink. The smell didn't even faze her. She was a trooper. I'll always remember that. On another day, my cousin Stella came with her friend Kelly. They were both going to LIM College, living in the city at the time. They mopped the entire dining room floor, wiped down the bar, the baguettes, just jumped in and worked. It meant everything. We had so much support from friends and family who showed up wherever they could. My cousin and Elizabeth and her husband Jack from Franklin Square, Long Island, knew we had no electricity and needed food that would last. So they sent Samantha and I 2 boxes of rehydrated meals, casseroles, fruits, snacks, all packaged so you could just turn them into actual food by just adding water. Pretty much astronaut space food. And for the family and friends who couldn't be there physically, they still showed up in their own way. My godmother Teresa and her husband sent us a check. My cousin Frankie and her husband Bobby called almost every day, also seeing what we needed, and also sent a check. And my Aunt Mary, and Uncle Joseph did the same. It wasn't just for the help, it was the feeling behind it, open hearts, no hesitation. In the middle of everything we're going through, I believe God places people in our lives to carry us through it. Sam and I didn't have enough words for that kind of gratitude, but I could feel it, and I couldn't ignore it. It made me think about how many good people still exist, quietly showing up when it matters most. Because when everything falls apart and you're pushing you to your limit, what you believe and what you hold on to becomes everything. If you can hold on to something, stay positive, keep the faith, God shows up, especially in the darkest moments. I held on to that because I was going to need it. I could feel it. The test was coming, along with obstacles and moments that would push me further than I was ready for. But the only thing that could get me through was my faith and my 5 Ps. And this was just the beginning. I hope that resonated with everybody out there. Maybe not the same story, but maybe the struggle or meeting people that God put into your life. But with that, we'll be right back with a very special guest.
Page turners, it's time to turn the page. Up next.
At just 17 years old, 11th grader Kayla has faced 16 biopsies and endoscopies and continues to show courage beyond her years. Her story is one of strength, faith, and inspiration for teens who may be facing their own battles. Kayla, we're so excited to have you here. Come join us.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Hi guys, my name is Kayla.
Okay, well, she's at everything's good.
All good.
This is
Yeah,
good.
perfect.
Anything can happen.
It's live.
And you can see what happened with me, right?
Hi.
So Kayla, tell our page turners, tell them your story. I mean, I know you have EOE, which I tried to pronounce it over and over again. I don't want to make light of it. And you have celiac disease. So tell our page turners a little bit about your background, what you go through.
All right. So ever since I was 7 years old, I was doing these biopsies and endoscopies. And at 7 years old was when I was first diagnosed with celiac disease. And then I kept having to go back for more and more tests to identify the individual allergies, such as dairy, eggs, certain nuts.
Is that what
fish.
celiac disease means? In case people don't know what it means.
Okay, so I'll explain celiac for those who don't know, which can be a lot of people actually, because only about 1% of people actually have celiac. Celiac disease is when you can't eat gluten. It's not because you have a gluten intolerance, it's a more severe allergy that could lead to more severe circumstances if you consume too much of it. So if you're celiac, you really want to be taking all the steps you can to avoid gluten. So it's definitely challenging, but with the right foods, it's manageable. And like having a good support system like my parents, they wiped all the gluten out of the house as soon as I was diagnosed to make sure there was no cross-contamination. We bought new baking pans, pots, and all of the utensils. We just started from scratch pretty much because we couldn't risk anything.
Sure.
So definitely challenging.
So how did you feel when you had to go to parties, you had to go to school, and they had the different things that could contaminate? What did you do about that?
Most of the time, because some people couldn't like buy stuff for me, I would have to like get those containers where you could put your own pizza. So like my mom would microwave some pizza and be like, here you go, Kayla, bring it to this kid's birthday party. Or you could have the Tupperware with like the little cupcake in it, and we would like dress up a cupcake and we'd bring it to the party. So I could have a cupcake while everyone else has their cake. And usually I would bake those cupcakes because before I had allergy shots called Dupixent, I couldn't eat dairy, eggs, nuts, or fish as well as no gluten. So it definitely was challenging to find some delicious food that could accommodate my allergies.
Do you feel it affected you, your confidence a little, or were you confident with you?
At first, it definitely was rough. At one point, I was eating mainly just goldfish and a lot of other those like childhood food snacks. And as soon as I got diagnosed with celiac, I had to quit those goldfish. Like,
Those are good little goldfish.
yeah, they're so good.
They really are.
Unfortunately, they still haven't made gluten-free versions of that, but I know a lot of other snacks have. So my confidence, the more I've had to like deal with celiac, the more confidence I've had, just because I know I can like make my own stuff. I don't need to rely on other people. A lot of more foods too are also becoming more gluten-free because celiac and being gluten-free is just also like become more popular as a whole. More people are getting diagnosed because technologies are getting more modern. So definitely.
Now explain what EOE, and again, EOE, I don't want to make light of it because I don't know, and try to pronounce it over and over again, but explain
No,
what
it's
EOE
definitely-
is and what it is.
Okay, so EOE is kind of like a stomach disease where you have like, I don't know like how to explain it right, but it's like more
immune system.
yeah, it's like the immune
esophagus,
system and esophagus.
as I read
Like
about
it
it.
could flame up.
Right,
Like I can only have I think about 6 white blood cells or less. Otherwise, if I have more than that, you know I'm allergic to a certain food. So when I go to the endoscopies, we're testing my EOE. So let's say I was top 6 allergen free, so that would be gluten, dairy, eggs, nuts, fish, soy. Let's say there was a time we added just soy back, and I had like 0 white blood cells. That's good. That means I'm not allergic to soy. But let's say we added almonds as a food group, and then I got the white blood cells tested. I still can't eat almonds right now, even with like my allergy shots. Let's say there was like 9 white blood cells. Then we know by that my EOE flames up because I eat almonds.
So it depends what you eat to.
Basically, yeah.
And then
EOE is
your
like,
throat closes, doesn't it close, right? Your throat
it's like either it closes or like I could have like severe stomach pains.
Does it stop you from breathing or swallowing?
Swallowing, there's certain foods that can, but breathing I've never had the issue with. But I know certain people might.
Do you walk around with an EpiPen always, so you don't need to?
People said I should, but I've never really had the need for it because I can control what I eat. I don't have any anaphylactic allergies, so
Okay.
as long as I'm not consuming it, I know what I can and can't have. I just know this is what I can't have, so I'm going to stay away from it, and no one can feed it to me, and that's how I don't need EpiPen. But some people ask if I have it.
My niece went through similar things that you're going through with, she has a dairy allergy and she had brain surgery when she was 12. You remind me so much of her. And I know, and Sophia, if you're watching, I hope you are.
Hi, Sophia, if you're watching.
I want you to meet Kayla. We'll set up on the phone. But I know that because of all that you've gone through, all these circumstances with EOE and celiacs, now you want to give back and you want to help other people. I gotta chill. You know what chills mean?
No chills.
What chills mean when the angels validate what I'm saying. What it means in the spiritual world.
Oh.
So as I'm saying this is what I'm feeling, that you want to give back and help others that have gone through what you've gone through to help them.
Oh, 100%.
So where you want to go to college? You want to become a doctor? Is that right?
100%.
Tell the page stars.
I mean, I could go about how I want to help people, but first I'll talk about the colleges. I've been starting to look at some because I'm in my junior year of high school.
Mhm.
So some of my top choices are Boston College and UNC Chapel Hill. I think they're great top colleges that have a lot of collaborative environments. Like, they don't really seem as like competitive while still being like academically prestigious. They still have like people that collaborate to do good things, and that's something I value in both of those schools. And as far as being a doctor, I want to pay back the good work that people have done for me when I was in the hospital, like when I was getting those endoscopies. I'm considering anesthesiology or surgery. So I've got anesthesia when I went in for a bunch of these endoscopies. So I think that's really cool if I could pay that back for someone else. And just surgery is also very good. It's very helpful to the community, and I think that's really valuable.
Really what you've done, you've taken what people could see as a negative and you turned it into a positive.
No, 100%.
You're still young, but you're not bitter, you're not angry.
I mean, at first I wasn't exactly happy, but you find the light in it. I guess there's good in everything that's like not good, if that makes sense.
Do you believe in like lessons are learned through? Like if you didn't go through this, maybe you wouldn't become a doctor. If you didn't go through this, possibly, right?
Yes and no. I actually, if I wouldn't have the urge to become a doctor, I probably would have ended up in cosmetology. And that desire changed for me when I was about 14 or 15. I said, I could do so much more than just cosmetology. Because I also wanted to do that to help other people because I have certain issues that make hair a certain insecurity for me. I really just think either way would have given me a way to help. But I just feel like the medical field, like surgery or anesthesiology, would be my true calling. If I had to do a side hustle, cosmetology would be great though.
It's in your heart.
In your spare time.
You are so inspirational.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I mean, it's truly, truly inspirational. Is there anyone out there that has a question for Kayla? I find you very inspirational.
Thank you, I
Young
appreciate
age and
that.
what you want to do, you want to give back. Not everybody can do that, Kayla.
I mean, I could say the same thing about you being inspirational. I mean,
Aww.
not everyone who wins Miss of their state,
Miss
you know,
Hampshire.
whether it's Miss New Hampshire, Miss, I don't know, like any other state, necessarily this
Pageant
podcast to inspire. Not everyone who does pageants pays back. And I think that's really cool that you do.
Thank you. That means a lot. Because I'm on live TV, I'm trying to read, I'm trying to get my message out there, and of course I have too
I
much
think that's
tea,
beautiful.
and I get nervous, and I start stumbling over my words, so
It's
thank you for
okay.
that.
Of course.
It makes us real, doesn't it?
It
We're
does.
real people, right? We're not AI.
I think that's beautiful.
Oh, I love you. You're awesome. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Oh, hey.
I mean, I I have to
Of
chill. I
course.
have to chill. I just think you're an amazing young woman. You truly are. You have a great future ahead of you.
Thank
And
you.
keep that positive thought in your head always.
Keep your
Always.
spirituality too. I mean, you got that journal. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
And your mom over there, I have to say something about her mom. Her name is Robbie Hart. She is an amazing country singer. You have to check her out.
She's
I
very
wanted
inspirational.
her. I got chills. I got chills all over my body. But Robbie is amazing. Check her out because I really love music, right?
Hey.
Yes.
Amazing. I want to get a play. Maybe she'll come on another show and just play a few.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you
Nice.
for coming on. I
Of
really
course.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having me.
Wow.
Thank you.
That
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you,
Thank you for
Kayla.
having me. I appreciate
Of
it.
course. Isn't she great? We'll be right back. Well, I just can't get over that. Kayla, she's amazing. Oh, I saw the chills from the angels validating, which is just amazing, amazing young woman. So that question you just saw during the break, does it resonate with you? If not right away, sit with it after this podcast ends and ask yourself, who has God placed in your life for a reason, a season, or a lesson? A lot to think about. And with that, we close in today's chapter, but remember the story doesn't end here. Next week, we turn the page again. Thank you, page turners, for being a part of this living book. And a heartfelt thank you to God for guiding me, opening doors, bringing all of you here. I'm truly grateful. And if today's message spoke to your heart, please take a moment. Like and share this channel. When you do, you're not only supporting me, but you're helping someone else to find this message who truly may need it. Live my 5 Ps. Remember, path, pray, positive, power, and my favorite, everyone,
Persevere.
and let fate lead the way. See you next week. We're going to be joined by Josie, a 23-year-old cosmetologist, love her, living her dream and inspiring others. Thank you for my amazing behind the scenes, even Robert, for helping make this podcast
You're
possible.
welcome.
Love you
You're welcome.
both.
My
Until
pleasure.
next time, keep turning the page.